Hello, I hope that you've enjoyed the vlog. Unfortunately, right after our last night's dinner, things take a turn for the worse. We were all super sweaty after trekking across the zoo the whole day. Everyone was dying to shower, but I called it first when we got back to the hotel. I get in, and right away I noticed that there isn't a washcloth, and I can hear Caitlin at the sink, so I ask her for a washcloth, and you know, that's where everything went wrong. I'm struggling to find words that accurately portray the level of violence that occurred in the fall that I had. There was no trying to correct myself or find my balance. I didn't even realize I was falling. It was like that video of that person slipping on a banana peel, like somebody had just ripped a rug out from right under my feet. The only thing that I am aware of at this time is what is happening inside of my left knee. As I'm going down, I can feel my leg twisting underneath me, and it is just being pushed to the absolute maximum capacity that it can bend. Every single instinct in me is just screaming, stop, stop, stop. And yeah, it does not stop. I hear and feel a gigantic crack, and then that pressure that had been straining just breaks free and like keeps going. And I can tell that it is now just bending unnaturally. My knee slams into the side of the bathtub, and it just felt like a baseball bat to everything that was already going so wrong in there. I land on my back, and the back of my head hits the back of the tub as well. So now I'm just sitting there like, ruh-roh. I am just perplexed. The shower had super high water pressure, and Caitlin said that when she ripped back the curtain, I was so stunned that my open eyeballs were just staring blankly into these jets, and they hit my eyes so hard that my contacts fell out. The next thing I know, my entire family is leaning over me, and I am unable to speak because I'm so stunned. It takes me so long to find words that my dad is asking me what day it is. I'm not aware of this, but they all said that I was just shaking like a leaf. I'm clutching my knee, and I don't want to incite a mass panic or anything by saying what I actually think, which is my knee is totally broken. I look down and it looks normal, but then I become convinced that my hands are now holding this thing together. Feeling your body twist and then just break out of place is the grossest feeling. A long battle begins where my parents are trying to coax me to let them help me off the floor, but I do not want to move. I don't want to be touched. I'm just like, well, I guess I live here now. After like 20 minutes, I am eventually persuaded to try and get off the floor. Basically, my dad just carries me to the hotel bed. To my surprise, we make it to the bed. You know, I'm able to move my toes, and I start to think, okay, maybe it's not that bad. The siblings are sent off to get hotel ice, and I know I gotta try and test this baby out. So I kind of stand up onto the good leg and try and shift weight onto the bad leg, and it's not that pain stops me from trying this. It hurts for sure, but it just immediately starts buckling like the second that any amount of pressure is put onto it, just gives way instantly. My dad and Milo then drive to get crutches and a wrap from Walgreens. We put the wrap on it, we put the ice on it, and then we just chill for a bit and try and discuss a plan. This whole incident occurred around 11 p.m. on our very last day. The flight is like 6 or 7 hours away, super early the next morning. So we're kind of like, what do we do? And eventually we come to the conclusion that nobody is gonna miss this flight. No one gets any sleep that night. And then at 4 p.m., all of us are on our way to the airport. My mom files an incident report on the way out of the hotel. The shower was insanely slippery. It was sloped down a little bit. The water pressure was really intense. And the receptionist revealed that every single shower is supposed to have a mat inside of it already. It still makes me kind of sad and frustrated to think how preventable everything here was if one person had just remembered to put the shower mat. But at the same time, I'm super grateful that it wasn't worse and that nobody else was hurt. Then begins the extremely long and painful day of travel home. It was around a 4-hour flight from San Diego to Chicago. And in the original plan, Caitlin and I get dropped off at our apartments in Chicago, and then the rest of my family drives 3 hours to our hometown of Peoria, Illinois. In the new plan, I just went with them and didn't really expect to stay in Peoria that long. The day after we got back, we went went to the prompt care, I got x-rays, and they told us right away that it looked like my kneecap had been dislocated and then had popped back into place. What I think happened is that the second I started falling, it dislocated, and I think that when the outside of my knee hit the bathtub rim, it like punted my kneecap back into place. The doctor is saying that like,
yeah, maybe in 6 weeks you can come back for an MRI if you want to.
And I'm just like, you do realize I don't live here, and also I can't walk, right? It was my mom who insisted that we get an MRI as soon as possible. And it basically is thanks to her doing that I am on the road to recovery now. So we have to wait a week for the MRI. And in the meantime, I'm Googling everything about dislocating your kneecap, reading everything I can about it. And it says that the recovery is 4 to 6 weeks. And at first I'm totally mortified by that, but then I'm like, you know, I'm young and I'm healthy. We can shave this on down to 4. Maybe we can shave this down even lower. Because for some reason, the idea of 6 weeks was just so absolutely mortifying. I just didn't want to. It was a hard pill to swallow. The reality was that it was not a 4-week or a 6-week recovery. It turned out to be a 6-month recovery. Not 6 months until I can walk, thankfully. But I just mean like 6 months until I can get it close to where I was before, where I can run and bike and do high intensity stuff. I think it felt like it took us a really long time to get any results back or to like figure out a treatment plan or anything. There was a bunch of ups and downs. I remember crying in the car outside one of the doctor's offices because one guy was like, yep, that knee's never gonna be the same again, but I don't know much about it to help, so good luck with that. When the MRI results come back, we find out that a lot more damage occurred than just the kneecap dislocating. The main problem was that the dislocating was so violent that on the underside of my kneecap, giant chunks of bone and cartilage were just shaved off completely, and that there were 3 loose bodies that were just detached, free floating in my knee joint, and they were stuck in there, which would explain why it was so painful to do anything with that knee, and also why we needed surgery like ASAP. The main problem here was the lack of cartilage now underneath my kneecap. That's a super weird spot to have that in, and cartilage is basically the cushioning between all the working parts that, you know, stop things from rubbing against each other and hurting. It's impossible to regrow cartilage inside the body. So you need it, and you can't regrow it. I ended up getting surgery, and the soonest it could be done was around a month after it happened. So it was a pretty terrible month, just waiting for this, being unable to walk, not knowing a treatment plan, a lot of just medical anxiety. They ended up having to cut my entire knee open to flip my kneecap upside down so that they could use a cartilage-like, toothpaste-like substance and just put that in the holes where the giant chunks came from. They also attached a cadaver ligament. Since the dislocation, my MPFL was stretched out and or torn, basically just kind of totally useless. And they said without the cadaver ligament, the chances of it dislocating again were over 50%. So they took out the loose bodies, filled in the holes, and attached the cadaver ligament, and then sewed everything back up. I am now around 6 weeks post-op, and things are finally starting to look a little brighter. Honestly, this has just been a really difficult time for me, and I'm really, really, really grateful to all my friends and family and followers for just everyone's support. It's just been so nice to be reminded how much people care about you. I've been in super intense physical therapy for the last 6 weeks, and I'm now getting to the point where I'm starting to like kind of walk again, which is so exciting. And I'm gearing up to head back to Chicago later at like the end of August. Healing is still gonna take the full 6 months, but it feels so good to have made this progress. I'm just excited to be back in my own space, be able to see my friends again, and just keep on creating. If you are interested in supporting me monetarily during this time, I would love to promote my Patreon to you. I have 3 different tiers that you can sign up for. They are $3, $6, or $10 per month. $3 a month is my Finch tier, which gives you access to all of my Patreon posts, all of the digital download content I've ever posted. I've got icons, calendars, phone backgrounds, coloring sheets, all kinds of fun stuff. $6 a month is my Blue Jay tier. You get access to everything in the Finch tier, plus you get a sticker sheet mailed to you every single month. The sticker sheet is not Patreon exclusive, and it's really good for people that like stationery and like getting stuff in the mail every month without having to go through the hassle of like buying it on Etsy. For the $10 a month tier, you get all the digital content, the sticker sheet mailed to you, and an exclusive mini print. I relaunched my Patreon like this April. April's theme was picnic, May's theme was rainy day, June's theme was fruits and flowers, July's theme was ice cream, and August's theme is friendly forest, which I'm really excited for. Thank you so much for coming along with me and my family on our trip to California. It was so much fun making a vlog like this. I honestly think of it as just kind of a love letter to the people I love who couldn't be there, to the people I love who were there, to California, to nature. I look forward to sharing my next adventure with you. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye!